Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmate. For this morning, I am going to report about social work theoretical perspective foundation. So, strength perspective. Strength perspectives seek to identify, use, build, and reinforce the strength and abilities people already have. Focus, client, asset, talents, abilities, and competencies, and an appreciation of and respect for the asset of individuals, family, and communities. For me, strength perspective, natawa da nga do armor for people who have lost their paths beyond circumstances. Kumbaga, ang worker, gina-identify na ang strength ka isa ka tao rather than anang nga kahinaan. We workers, naga-support sa ila, we don't look on negative side ka aton nga client, but we look on positive side kanda sa aton nga client. So, core values of strength-based social work practice or CPR. CPR nga da sa C stand for competence, capacities, courage. P stand for promise, possibility, positive expectation. R stand for resilience, reservice, resources. So ang CPR nga ran is very important kita sa aton nga social worker kung paano natin i-encourage or paano natin at ano aton mga capacity nga dapat natin nga ibulig sa aton nga client or able gid bala kita nga makabulig sa aton nga client. So, Sally B, 6 principles in strength-based social work practice. Every individual's group, family, and community has strength and asset. So, every group of people may arata na nga own strength and asset or own resources like livelihood, economic nga ilagin gina-control o ginpangabudlayan. Second, trauma and abuse, illness, and struggle may be injurious but they may look also be sources of challenge and opportunity. So, ang mga experience nga negative situation nga again ka isa ka tawo like trauma and mga masakit that harm sa ilang lives kag naga-cause sang pagka-dysfunctional nila is natural. Kumbaga, ang situation nga na imbis nga idown tapagid ang self natin or magpadardara sa mga situation nga amo nga to, iserve na lang natin nga opportunity to find our strength, opportunity para makabangon kag makadevelop pa. Caring, caretaking, and context. Essential man nga i-consider nga deserve man nila nga i-care and to believe nga ang client mismo has a capability to care also maskin ano pa na sila. And that is one way to consider to nga isa man nila ka strength or positive attribute. So, number 4, assume that you do not know the upper limits and of the capacity to grow and change and take individual, group, and community aspiration seriously. So, assume they don't know their limits. It means that you should take them as individuals who has a greater room for them room for more improvement and has skills that is to be discover and ma-develop pa. And that have much more abilities and skills that hidden on the process of discovering pa man. And that have something great in them nga in wait for them to be embraced and that able gid sanda. So 5, we best serve clients by collaborating with them. So we do things with them. It is their willingness and its inspiration to change that will change them. And that we are with them, we help them to make into reality. It is not a work for them, but a work with them. That in the end of the process, it is not just a developed change for them, but a developed change in collaborative action with them. So number 6, every environment is full of resources. So, since ang strength-based perspective is di ba naga-focus sa positive attribute ka client, seeing their strength kumbaga, so we need to consider specifically by seeing them or the person resourceful too. Every environment is full of resources. Means that to connect resources in the person environment that can be useful or enable the person to create link to the resources. And these resources could be ang mga individuals, association, institution, or groups nga makabuligid sa ila. So, strength-based model is the opposite of deficit-based model or of practice where the client is seen as the problem, where skepticism is created and the ecological context of the difficulty is ignored. Means ang strength-based model is kabaliktaran kas deficit-based model kay di ba ang strength-based ang focus is seeing the strength or positive attribute may ara sa client. On the other hand, ang deficit-based model is pag-perceive or pagtanaw man more on the negative side or weaknesses may ara ang client. Kun baga ang ginaturing ang problema mismo sa client. So, gender perspective. Gender refers to socially constructed identities, roles, and status that influence the allocation of power, entitlement, opportunities, and prestige to men and women. So, ang gender is one way para matukoy kung babae or lalaki ang isa ka tawo. Ugaring ang ginagamit diri nga batayan is based sa context of sosyedad. Ang panurukan or gina-expect bala ang pagkilos kadwa ka kasarian. Like kung babae ka dapat mahinhin, manghulag, then ang lalaki dapat matikas, strong gid na. Amo dato ang tiyempo ka mga hapon or sang una pa. But also subong nga tiyempo, times goes by man ang context kang ang context ka gender ga change man. As for time being, ang gender is may malawak nga scope or pag-define, like subong gina-considered na or gina-refer mismo ang gender in a sense who you are as a guy or a girl nga as oppose or salungat sa gina-indicate ka physical characteristic mo. Ang gender equality matana is premise that women and men ought to be treated in the same way. Weakness does not recognize that equal treatment will not produce equitable result because women and men have different life experience by Harry Sernevas. So, ang gender equality man niya is pagtanaw nga deserve man all the genders dapat matrato nga equal. Like, kung may room for men, nga makaubra kag makahatag ka tsakto nga sweldo, dapat ang mga babae matagan man ka tsakto. Kag all the other genders amo man. Kung ginahatagan respeto ang mga babae, dapat amo man ang mga gay, lesbian kag iba pa. Ang gender equity recognize the differences in the lives of women and men, and the different approaches may be required to achieve equitable outcome. Ang gender equity matana is ang pagpanurok sa perspektibo nga gina-recognize ang pagkalain-lain ka men kag women. And sa mga respective differences nga ina is may dapat man nga may approaches nga suitable para sa ma-fulfill man ang pag-achieve ka desired nga outcome. Thank you.